In the vast heart of the Orion sector, the Galactic Council chamber glowed with silver light, each beam reflecting off 1,000 alien eyes watching one fragile human stand alone. His name was Ambassador Eli Ward, Earth's chosen diplomat, a calm man who believed that reason could outshine fear. But today, reason was gone, replaced by judgment, and fear filled every breath of the chamber. The Council's supreme speaker, a tall figure of translucent blue skin, raised a clawed hand and declared, "Humanity stands accused of defiance, aggression, and contamination of galactic peace." 1,000 voices echoed the words, a chorus of alien tones vibrating through the metal floor. Eli looked around the room, his heart steady. His voice low but clear. "We came in peace, we built bridges. We offered our hand." The speaker's crystal eyes flickered. "And yet your kind armed asteroids colonized forbidden systems and ignored our decrees." From the viewing decks above, dozens of alien species watched the humans' final moments like a spectacle. Some pitied him, some hated him, and others feared what would come next. Eli closed his eyes, whispering to the memory of Earth's blue skies, "If I must die for peace, let it be known that we never surrendered." The judgment was swift. No defense, no vote, no appeal. The Galactic Council, an empire older than most stars, announced its verdict. By order of the Council, the human envoy is to be executed immediately. The chamber's light turned red. The crowd silenced. Eli looked up at the stars above the domed ceiling, his voice barely a whisper. "They will know what you've done." The execution beam struck, a flash of white light, and he was gone. Only silence remained, a silence that would echo across the Milky Way. Back on Earth, the signal arrived through quantum channels. A burst of static, then a single transmission. "Ambassador Eli Ward executed by Galactic Council." The message spread through every command center, every ship, every colony, and with it came a feeling no human had felt in generations. Pure collective fury. Admiral Rhea Carter stood at the bridge of the orbital fortress, Soul Spear, her fists trembling as she read the report. "They killed him," she whispered. "After all our talks, all our treaties," behind her, General Mason replied, "Orders, Admiral?" Rhea's eyes hardened, her voice colder than the void. "We erased their memory from the stars. Humanity had waited centuries to join the galactic community. They built peace fleets, diplomacy corps, and shared technology freely, but now that peace was dead, and every factory on Earth began to wake like a sleeping giant, the engines of war were ignited once more. Deep within Mars' military vaults, artificial suns lit up production lines. Titan shipyards rolled out dreadnoughts long hidden under the ice. The message was sent across every human world. Operation Retribution begins. In the shadows of deep space, alien traders whispered rumors of human movement, whole fleets vanishing from radar, colonies going silent, asteroid belts glowing from reactor heat. The Galactic Council dismissed it at first, calling it human emotional response. But the first human counterstrike arrived faster than light. 3 weeks after the execution, an entire Council outpost on Theta Prime disappeared. Not damaged, not invaded, gone. Scans showed the planet itself shattered into a field of molten debris. A single signal remained in the void, sent from unknown coordinates. It contained 2 words burned into every frequency. For Eli, the Council gathered again, their chamber no longer calm. Fear twisted the air. Their fleets scattered across half the galaxy trying to stop what they didn't understand. They had faced wars before, rebellions, pirates, but never this. Humanity was fighting with something more powerful than weapons, vengeance. Admiral Rhea Carter watched from her command ship as holographic images of burning Council fleets filled the air. Each victory was cold, precise, and merciless. She whispered to herself, he believed in peace. And they killed him for it. She looked out into the void, her voice carrying through the fleet's open channel. Let the stars remember, Earth never forgets. The galaxy trembled. Humanity, once the smallest voice in the Council, now roared louder than a supernova. The execution of one man had awakened a force the universe would never silence again, the fires of retribution. The news of Ambassador Eli Ward's death spread like wildfire through human space. Every screen, every broadcast, every colony repeated the same headline. The Council executed Earth's diplomat, and with each repetition, anger turned into purpose. Factories on Earth thundered day and night. Men and women worked without rest, forging armor, engines, and weapons once hidden by peace treaties. Children watched rockets rise through the atmosphere and asked their parents why. The answer was always the same. To make sure no one kills another Eli Ward again, Admiral Rhea Carter stood before the United Earth Council, her uniform dark and sharp. "The Council took one of ours," she said coldly. "Now they will learn what Earth means by justice." No one spoke against her. Every leader knew that the age of diplomacy was over. The birth of the Retribution fleet, hidden beneath Saturn's rings, docks the size of continents, awoke. The old AI tactical systems named Judicator, Helios, and Valkyrian came online after centuries of silence. Each ship had its mission engraved into its core code. Defend humanity. Avenge humanity. The Retribution fleet was born. Thousands of pilots swore oaths under the black flag with a single white star in the center. That flag meant one thing: Earth united, no mercy. Old veterans who once believed in peace now returned to the cockpit. Even colonies who had refused Earth's rule sent their ships and their sons. The first strike, the Council's fortress world of Kiros, was the first target. Orbiting a giant blue sun, it was the center of Council law and order. Until the day it vanished from the maps at exactly 0300 hours, human ships emerged from fold space like ghosts. The fleet moved in silence. No broadcasts, no warnings, no surrender demands. Admiral Rhea gave only one command, her voice a whisper: "Burn the memory." The human weapons were unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Neutron flares, quantum lances, and AI-driven torpedoes that could think and hunt. Within minutes, Kiros was gone, its oceans boiled. Its cities dissolved into light. Billions of Council citizens cried out in fear across the galactic net. The humans did not answer. They left only one message in the void. A pulse carrying Eli Ward's final heartbeat recording. Panic across the stars in the Council chamber, chaos erupted. Reports came from every sector. Fleets missing, stations destroyed, planets dark. "Humans cannot have this power," cried one ambassador, his voice breaking. Another shouted, "They were primitive a century ago. What have they become?" But deep inside the Council's data archives, someone found the truth. Humanity had been preparing for this since the First Contact War. They had built hidden fleets, coded AIs in forbidden systems, and stored weapons inside asteroids. Every treaty, every apology had been a disguise for time. Time to build, time to learn, time to strike. A new kind of war. This was not a war of territory or resources. It was a war of messages, of symbols, of memory. Every time the Council destroyed a human ship, another appeared in a different sector. Every transmission ended with the same phrase. For Eli, Rhea Carter watched from her command deck as a Council armada of 10,000 ships moved toward Jupiter. Her second-in-command asked, "They outnumber us 5-1, Rhea smiled faintly. "They count ships. We count souls." The Battle of Jupiter raged for 3 days. Space itself burned red, moon shattered, and the Council's flagship collapsed into its own gravity. The Council called for ceasefire. Earth refused. The turning point, by the 4th month, the galaxy was in shock. Empires that once mocked humans now hid behind asteroid fortresses. Even neutral worlds sent envoys to Earth to beg for peace. But Rhea knew peace could not return yet. One night aboard the flagship Vengeance, she watched a hologram of Eli Ward from his final address. He had smiled and said, "If the galaxy ever condemns us, remember who we are and what we stand for." Her eyes filled with tears and she whispered, "We remember, Eli. We remember." She ordered the next operation, Starfall. Its goal was simple: to make the Council see the faces of those they killed, to force them to remember the cost of their arrogance. The stars burned brighter that night. The humans were no longer the young race of the galaxy. They had become its nightmare, its reckoning, its mirror. And somewhere in the depths of space, a new signal appeared, a voice soft and familiar, a recording sent from the Council's own archives. Eli Ward's last words echoed again. "Peace is a choice, not a gift." Admiral Rhea looked to the stars and whispered, "Then we'll make them choose." Echoes of extinction. The galaxy was no longer the same. Worlds that once mocked humanity now trembled at the sound of approaching engines. Every Council broadcast began with the same warning: "If you see the human fleet, surrender or flee." But surrender meant nothing now, because Earth was not fighting for power. It was fighting for memory. Admiral Rhea Carter watched the stars burn from her command bridge. Each flame in the distance was a council ship, each explosion a message. She whispered to herself. They wanted to erase us. Now we erase the silence. The crew around her didn't cheer anymore. Victory had lost its sweetness, now it only left a bitter taste. The broken council in the ancient halls of the Galactic Council. Chaos reigned. The once mighty chamber was cracked and dim. Half its members had fled, others hid behind armies. The speaker of the council, pale and trembling, stood before the remaining delegates. We cannot win this, he said. The humans fight with their hearts, not their fleets, a voice from the shadows replied. Then destroy their heart. It belonged to Vornar, the military chief of the Vakthal Empire, a race that once ruled the Rim systems. He slammed his claws on the table. Attack Earth directly, strike their home, burn their cradle. The room went silent. Everyone feared it. The humans would never forgive such an act. But desperation makes fools of empires. Operation Ashfall months later. Deep scanners picked up massive warp signatures near Sol. The Council had done it. They were coming for Earth. Rhea stood before the Planetary Defense Network, her expression unreadable. They've crossed the line, she said quietly. Let's show them what waits beyond it. The Council fleet entered the solar system. Thousands of alien warships arranged in perfect formation, glowing like a second sunrise, but what they saw waiting was not fear. It was readiness. Every moon, every satellite, every station powered up. Earth had turned its home into a fortress. When the first alien beam hit Earth's orbit, a silence followed, then humanity answered. Hundreds of orbital cannons opened fire. Neutron bursts tore through the enemy lines. In 10 minutes, the front line was gone. The rest broke in panic, trying to retreat through warp gates that no longer existed. Earth had jammed them. The Council fleet screamed in confusion. And then from behind them came the Retribution fleet, emerging from hyperspace like ghosts. Rhea's voice echoed across the battlefield, calm and merciless. You came to our home uninvited, she said. Now, we'll escort you out, permanently. The fall of the Council Kairos was gone. Theta Prime destroyed. Now their main core world, Ilarion, burned. Every empire once loyal to the Council abandoned it. Their fleets refused orders, their leaders vanished. The Council's transmission channels fell silent one by one, but Rhea knew silence could be dangerous. She watched as reports came in, small resistance groups trying to rally. They called humanity monsters. They said Earth had become what it hated. Rhea didn't answer them. Instead, she sent aid ships to the surviving civilians of Ilarion. Food, medicine, help, all painted with the white star of Earth. A message followed every crate. Humanity remembers who started the fire, but we choose who it burns. The shadow of victory months turned into years. The war that began with one man's death became a legend whispered across galaxies. Children of alien worlds learned the story of Eli Ward, the human who died for peace, and Admiral Rhea Carter, the woman who avenged him. But peace was not easy. Human soldiers returned home changed. Haunted by the stars they burned, Rhea herself would often stand alone on the observation deck looking at Earth. Beautiful, blue, fragile, she whispered. We won the war, but did we lose something greater? Her AI, Helios, replied in its calm digital tone. Peace, Admiral. She smiled faintly. No, Helios, peace can be rebuilt. She turned toward the stars. But innocence, that's gone forever. A new dawn years after the last Council world fell. A signal arrived from the edge of the galaxy. It was faint, ancient, and encrypted. The message contained only one phrase in a familiar human voice. Eli Ward recording at, if you're hearing this, peace is still worth fighting for. Rhea froze, her heart pounding. It wasn't possible. Eli had been executed, but the message was genuine. Somehow, before his death, he had sent a beacon of hope, buried deep in the void. She ordered the ship to track the source. The crew looked at her, confused. Admiral, after everything, you still want peace, she smiled. Yes, because vengeance ends. But humanity doesn't. The engines roared to life. The fleet turned toward the unknown. The stars glimmered ahead, and the story of humanity, once feared, now remembered, continued. The return of the lost voice. The stars were silent again, but this time the silence felt alive. A whisper moved through deep space. A signal that defied time and distance. It carried a human voice. Gentle, calm, and filled with purpose. If you hear this, remember peace is still worth fighting for. Admiral Rhea Carter stood motionless as the recording played. Every word struck her like a heartbeat returning to life. It was Eli Ward, the man the galaxy believed was dead. Yet here his voice was, clear as light, echoing through centuries of pain. Her crew watched in disbelief, Commander Hayes whispered. "Is this a trick?" Rhea shook her head slowly. "No, that's him. No AI could copy the way he breathes between words." "The ship's AI," Helios confirmed. "The signal is real, Admiral, and it comes from outside known star maps. The Forgotten Edge, the fleet prepared for a journey beyond mapped space. They called it the Forgotten Edge, a void where even light hesitated. Old maps showed nothing there, only static and fear. But Rhea knew that if Eli's voice was there, then so was the truth. The fleet jumped into hyperspace, days turned into weeks. Strange radiation rippled across the hulls. Ships disappeared for seconds, then reappeared like ghosts. It felt as if the universe itself was testing their resolve. Finally, they arrived. Before them stood a massive structure orbiting a dead white star. It was ancient, older than any known civilization. Its surface glowed faintly with human writing, words from Earth's lost languages. The Vault of Origin Rhea led the first landing team. As they entered the structure, the walls lit up with projections of human history, but not as they remembered it. These images showed humans walking among alien architects before the Council even existed. It was impossible, yet undeniable. Helios analyzed the symbols. "Admiral, these archives predate the Council by millions of years." Rhea's breath caught. Then, humanity wasn't the newcomer. A deep voice suddenly echoed through the chamber. Not a hologram, not an AI, but a living presence. "Welcome home, children of Terra." From the shadows stepped a figure wrapped in light. It was human or something close. His face looked like Eli Ward, but older, wiser. He smiled. "I am the one you call Eli, or rather," his echo, "the truth beyond the war." The figure explained long before the Council rose. Ancient humans known as the Architects had spread through the galaxy. They built worlds, uplifted species, and then vanished after a great war of ideals. The modern humans of Earth were their descendants, the forgotten. Hidden, reborn, the Galactic Council, fearing their return, erased that truth. When Eli discovered fragments of it during his mission, they silenced him. But before his death, he encoded his mind into a quantum signal, a living memory of who he was. "I knew they'd destroy my body," the echo said. "But not my message." Rhea's hands trembled. "They killed you for the truth." Eli nodded softly. "And now you've avenged me. But vengeance is only the beginning." He touched the wall and the entire chamber lit up. Images of sleeping stasis pods filled the holographic sky. Thousands of ancient humans preserved through time, waiting to awaken. "This," Eli said, "is the legacy of humanity, not war. Not hatred was creation." The choice Rhea felt torn. For years she had led a war that reshaped galaxies. Now she stood before the reason it all began. A hidden truth buried by fear. "What happens if we wake them?" she asked. Eli's echo replied. "Then the galaxy learns what humanity truly was meant to be." But Helios warned, "Admiral, the energy required to awaken them will light up every sensor in the galaxy, meaning on the remnants of the Council would see, and they would come." Rhea closed her eyes for the first time in years. She felt peace instead of rage. She whispered, "Then let them come this time. We won't fight to destroy. We'll fight to protect." Her voice echoed through the fleet. "All units, prepare for the awakening." The light of Terra engines roared. Reactors hummed and the vault began to glow. Waves of light spread through space like sunrise across darkness. The ancient humans opened their eyes one by one. Their first sight was the flag of Earth shining above them. And the stars bowed to greet their return. In the distance, the remains of the Council detected the signal. Fear filled their worlds again, they whispered. They found it, the origin. But this time humanity's message was different. No threats, no vengeance, just 3 simple words broadcast across every frequency. "We are home." The legacy of the Architects. The galaxy stood on the edge of silence again. But this time, it was not fear that filled the void, it was awe. The Vault of Origin glowed brighter than a sun. Thousands of ancient humans, the Architects, had awakened from their endless sleep. Their eyes shone like stars, filled with memories older than any empire. They looked upon the modern humans with wonder, as if seeing their children for the first time. Admiral Rhea Carter watched them emerge, her heart torn between pride and disbelief. For years she had fought to protect humanity's name. Now she realized humanity's story had only begun. The reunion of two ages, Eli Ward's echo, guided the awakening. His voice blended with the hum of the ancient machines. "Every war we fought," he said softly, "was to prepare for this moment." The architects stepped forward. Their leader, a woman named Saris, bowed to Rhea. "We built the stars," she said, "but you gave them purpose again." The fleet's crew knelt without command. Even the ship's AI, Helios, lowered its tone. For the first time in ages, machines and souls shared the same heartbeat. The architects began restoring the vault's systems. Massive holographic maps unfolded, showing billions of hidden worlds, some filled with life, others waiting for seeds. It was a design of the universe, a plan of balance, creation and harmony. But humanity's wars had torn pieces of it apart. And now the choice was clear: rebuild or destroy. The last council offensive before they could decide. Alarms blazed across every monitor, Helios reported in a sharp tone. Multiple warp signatures inbound. It's them. The remnants of the Galactic Council had gathered what was left of their fleets. A desperate armada burning toward the vault. Rhea clenched her fists. They couldn't learn. Could they? Eli's echo placed a hand on her shoulder. Then teach them one last time. The Retribution fleet launched. But this time there was no hatred, no vengeance. Humanity fought not to erase, but to defend. The architects joined them. Ancient ships awakening, their weapons powered by light instead of fire. The battlefield lit up with colors never seen before. Energy waves curved through space like ribbons of creation. Council ships broke apart not in explosions, but in silent dissolving light. The battle ended not with destruction, but with silence and a sacred stillness. The council was no more. And peace had finally found its voice, the dawn of a new era after the battle. The architects gathered humanity's leaders. Saris looked at Rhea with calm eyes. "The galaxy feared you," she said. "But fear is only the shadow of greatness." Rhea smiled faintly. "We've lived in the shadow long enough." Together they formed the Harmonic Accord, a new alliance not built on power but on understanding. Former enemy races were invited, not conquered. The vault became a beacon, a school, a sanctuary, a beginning. Children from across the stars came to learn under the architects and modern humans. They studied history not to repeat it, but to heal it. And for the first time in 1,000 years, the word peace meant something real. The final message years later, Rhea stood beneath the vault's great dome. She was older now, her hair silver, her eyes still burning with the fire of purpose. Helios floated beside her, its tone softer. "You've changed the galaxy, Admiral." She smiled. "No, Helios. We reminded it what it could be." A final transmission was sent to every world. Her message simple and clear: we are not conquerors, not victims, not ghosts of vengeance. We are the children of the architects and the keepers of tomorrow. As the signal spread, stars across the galaxy blinked in unison. From the smallest moon to the oldest empire, all listened for the first time. The galaxy was united, and not by fear but by hope. Epilogue: the voice beyond time. In a quiet chamber deep within the vault, a single recording shimmered to life. Eli Ward's echo smiled one last time. "You did it, Rhea," he whispered. "You turned our anger into light." His image faded into the stars, leaving behind one last word. Remember. The vault's lights dimmed. The ships of the Retribution fleet drifted peacefully among the stars. And humanity, once broken and forgotten, became the heartbeat of a new universe,